1,000, this would drop to like 5-10% max, you know? And then quick scalps, 15%. That'll maybe be 1 or 2 cons if they're cheaper, usually towards the end of the day. And then regular size for these. We probably won't do any lottos on the small account until we're like pretty good in profit. I didn't do any lottos until like later in the last account. And then first scale, since we only have 2 contracts, this will most likely be the total position. But once we get to 3, 4, 5 contracts like last account, it'll probably be, you know, half a position and then 1 contract each time. Okay, now let's actually get into the class. So real quick, the indicators I use to scalp XPX include VWAP, EMA 9, EMA 21. I do have the 50 and 200, but I very rarely make a trade off them. But I do have them. It is nice to see the EMA 50 and 200. And then, of course, I use the 5-minute and 10-minute time frame on SPY chart. XPX is used for option entries only. You guys understand that? I'm watching the SPY chart. XPX is on my phone to actually enter the trade. Main candles to watch for are huge bearish or bullish engulfing candles, huge premium decay. Basically, this candle, that's really good to watch. These type of candles, pretty good to watch. This candle, the big ones, the ones that decay the premium. And then for reversal test, watch for a hammer or a doji type candle. I have every day from last week a SPY chart, and I have circled like the type of candles and how it reversed and whatnot, and we'll go over that in a bit. So, okay. First thing, this is just a clean picture. This is nothing, just what Monday, this was Monday for the SPY chart. We have our reversal candle. You can see this little hammer. Now, what does this mean? Let's get into it. Okay, so the first trade, oh, sorry, this is just another analysis of SPY. So what I like to do for each day, for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I basically just took a screenshot and I highlighted main entry areas, and then we're going to go over the actual chain with the correlation to SPY. But Monday, we had a nice trend day. We had a nice ride on the EMA 9 5-minute. We had the little wick, which I was talking about earlier, the reversal candle, which made us go on the downtrend. This was the little hammer on the bearish side. We had another wick. This wasn't too big. I don't think anybody would have played this. We had VWAP. Oh, no, sorry, it did not have VWAP. But we had the another reversal candle, which was from the previous slide right here. That's the reversal candle. And then we had a little wick. Now, how does this correlate to XPX? Let's get into that. So, the first trade, this is in chronological order. This is going to be from like 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. So this is Monday. You can see on the time right here, this is Eastern. So the first trade that we had, this was not an actual alert. There's plenty of trades that I did not take, and there's plenty of trades that I did take. We're going to go over every single trade that we could have taken, we should have not take, and why we did take it. So first trade. Pretty early in the morning, we have a nice uptrend. So we're on the 5-minute. Usually towards the end of the day is when we go to the 10-minute. So 5-minute, we have the nice retest here. This is our first initial EMA 9 retest. You can see here on the strat, we had a nice strat 2 play with the XPX, the 5335 call. So your entry would be, this is the low is 224. So most likely this was around 25. So you enter around 25, 24, the low is 224. And we get the nice pushed. I don't know where this is exactly, but this is over 20%. And you have your stop loss at break even. And here's your probably where you get stopped out. But if you missed the first retest, we have the second retest. Remember, I like playing the first 2 retests. The third retest is where it's a little bit riskier, and that's where you go to the 10-minute. The first 2 retests on EMA 9 on the 5-minute, they're usually pretty accurate. So this was our first retest, which is right here. Oops. And then this is our second retest, which is right here. So if you re-entered or you missed this trade and we got this trade, you can re-enter here, and this was actually the better entry. That's why I like the first or second retest, because sometimes the second retest is actually the better trade. Because you can see here, this was the second retest, and we moved all the way up, all the way to 800. This is probably still around 250, 260 each. So this is a play that we missed. It's unfortunate. I probably was at track or something. But the next slide is an actual alert. This is something that I actually made a trade on. So what we did, this is at 2 p.m. We had a nice rejection off the EMA. We broke down. So what do? We're watching puts. And we use Strat 0, which is the EMA strats on both SPY and XPX. We got the little retest right here, and you can see that it correlates with the entry here. That's why I had my entry at 275. This right here, I think the low is 27. And immediately right after, this is the entry. Next candle, we go all the way down here. It's not big. I'm not saying this is a crazy good trade, but all we're looking for is 20% each, right? We got the nice rejection. We enter here. Next candle, we get the little dip down, and we're up to 3.4, 24% within literally 1 minute, which is why it's hard to catch entries. Sometimes you guys are chasing. I understand that. That's why I'm trying to teach y'all the strategy. We had both. As long as XPX and SPY correlate with a strat, most likely it's going to work out pretty well. So let's do it. Let's go over it one more time real quick. We have a nice uptrend. We break under below. So now I'm watching puts. We broke under EMA. It was pretty lots of rejection from the high. This is towards the end of the day too. Usually towards the end of the day is when you get a nice reversal. So that also helps. We get the initial retest. We enter here. Next candle already dipped. And we got 24%. This is an actual trade that I took using this strat. And I think I did the actual trade again. So now we are at, it's already 2 p.m. here. I guess I didn't trade too much on Monday. We're watching calls now. Now, notice here, this is where we entered puts, as you can see. We entered puts here. We got 24%. And now we got the break back above EMA. So now what we're doing, we're switching our thesis. We're not going to chase puts now. We're watching calls. And we're still using the 5-minute because it's the first initial break of EMA. So we just started the new trend. So we're still using 5-minute because it's not a long trend. It hasn't been going out throughout the day. That's why we're still on the 5-minute. We get the break. We're waiting for a retest. Boom, here's our retest. I guess I forgot to take a screenshot of the actual XPX chain. But I'm pretty sure I remember that the low was 165, which was right here around this wick. I think I entered right around here. And noticing by the reactions, most of you guys probably caught it because usually when I see more than one reaction, it's pretty easy to catch. So we got in at 1.8. It is a lotto because it is 3 p.m. Any trade in the last hour with 0 DTE, most likely it's going to be a lotto because, this can dump real fast. This can go up real fast, as you guys can see. We get the retest. This is a strat 0 play. And let's actually go over the little paragraph I wrote. Notice a reversal candle, meaning EMA will most likely be rejected. You guys remember this candle from earlier? This is the reversal candle. You see the nice little hammer? This is showing that nice signal. This right here, the bullish engulfing candle, we're not watching EMA retest because we already took the trade anyways. So now we're waiting for the break above. We get the break above. First retest, we got the retest. We enter it at 1.8. The whole point of the retest is to get a really cheap entry on the chain so we're not risking more percentage loss. It's already dropped a lot because it already retested. So we got in at 1.8. 3 minutes later, it took a bit. I remember that this trade was down 10-20%. That's probably why you guys got in. But we got in and we made money. Next candle, we get the push. This is the push right here. We get 25%. Comes back down. Does not hit stop loss break even, I guess, because I would have stopped out at break even if it hit it. And then boom, we get the nice push. Push to high day, I believe. And we got 67% in 5 minutes. All using just strat 0. This was both strat 0. I know the chain was strat 0 as well because I mentioned it. I guess I forgot to screenshot. The rest of the days this week, I have all screenshots of XPX chain too, but we're mostly focusing on how it correlates with SPY. That's the whole point of this class. Because I know you guys understand the strats and like how it works with XPX, but you guys want to understand how you actually like know when to enter, when not to enter. So this was an actual alert that I used, and it worked out pretty well. Now let's go over a missed strat 1 entry. So this is a trade that I missed. I think I mentioned that I missed it. So you guys can see, we're looking at strat 1 here. We're not entering here because we don't know where the low is, right? We're waiting for the low to be reached. Here's the reversal. We move up. I believe the reversal was probably, I'm going to assume it's over here because this is where we push hard. And then we get the next entry. Again, notice this candle. I've circled it like 6 times now. This candle, that's the little reversal candle. Remember, memorize this candle pattern. I'm not sure the exact name of it, but just know it's the reversal candle. Here's the entry. This is the actual entry that we should have taken. I did not take it. I don't know what I was doing. Maybe I just missed it. It was at 2:30 p.m. I think my next trade was at 3 p.m., right? Yeah. So I guess I just missed it, but that's okay. Yeah, this is the reversal candle you guys can see here. So, what's the low? The low was, I think here was 2.5 the low. So your entry is at 2.5. Notice the low is 2.45. So you lost maybe $5 max, or you did 2.45 if you're a little greedy. Remember though, you might get partial filled if you do the exact low. That's why I like to do $5 above it. So 2.5 entry, and we noticed that this went all the way back to, well, here it says 5.3. So I assume this hit around $6. And you guys can see that our little rejection on the XPX chain is right around here. You see here it rejected a bit, and then here it rejected a bit. So this little arrow where I'm highlighting, not really highlighting, but where I'm going around, that's kind of your TP if you have a runner. And then notice we have the little wick here.
The reversal
You have a
candle,
question?
yeah.
Yeah.
The reversal candle, it is hard to see in the picture. Can you explain how it looks? It's like a reverse hammer.
This is a hammer. Yes. This, you see right here where I'm pointing on my arrow?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit hard to it is I know it's a little bit zoomed in. It's just I'm trying to I wanted to fit both pictures in the same slide so it's easier to see. Yeah, this is a hammer candle. Hammers could be it's pretty good to use as a reversal candle, especially when there's a lot of a wick. You see how we have a nice wick around here? It's the wick, it's not actually the body, it's more of the wick. That shows that the sellers got bought up. The buyers are buying back the wick, and then we get the nice bullish engulfing candle. That's why I mentioned earlier in the slide, watch bullish engulfing candles, bearish engulfing candles. It shows a sign of change in trend. That's why we're not watching EMA here. We know it's a bullish engulfing candle. This is pretty bullish. That's why we waited for the retest, which we got earlier, which was from this play. We got the retest, which we entered, and then we rolled this up to the high day, and we got 67%. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I always get confused if it is a reverse hammer or a regular hammer.
Yeah, I do get confused too. I don't know the exact candle. Again, guys, this strategy it's very simple. Just follow the rules. You don't need to know every single little trading term. Just know that these type of candles is a reversal candle. How do you know it's a reversal candle? The wicks. You see how the wick got bought up? We were selling, selling, selling. Buyers come back in. It goes back. It gets bought back up. The doji, not the doji. The body closes pretty high up compared to where it was at the low, and then you get the nice bullish engulfing candle. That's a sign of change. Notice here too, we had a nice wick, and then we started reversing back up. Right here, actually, this is why I highlighted it. Now I'm remembering. I highlighted this. We had a nice buying. We were buying. We're buying. We get the wick. Oh, it's starting to sell back down. It's a change of reversal. The wick, these wicks, and then the next candle turns red, signs of reversal. This wick, the candle's red, next candle's green, sign of reversal. We're going up now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect.
Can you
Okay,
explain
let's
also
oh yeah,
the
let me
pre
yeah.
so the previous candle you see the big green, the one that you highlighted, then the next few candles are
This
all
one.
red. So yeah, so is that also an engulfing candle? You know it's a reversal from there.
This is a bullish engulfing candle. However, this is not a clear sign of reversal. I definitely I'm not gonna say I'm the best trader in the world. I definitely would have not played puts. I would have just been watching for EMA maybe. And actually, if we did watch for EMA, we did get the entry and we did get the nice push back up. So this play did work for calls, but I just wasn't watching it. But no, this I'm just highlighting it to show the little wick, but this isn't like a crazy clear candle. This would have told me don't buy calls here. However, even I was wrong. Calls did technically work, but we did have a little breakthrough EMA. But these plays right here are not what we're trying to get. We're trying to get the actual reversal plays. But yes, this wick, this is more clear than this. This is still a bullish engulfing candle. This is not a clear reversal trend. However, this did reverse. But the clear one is this one because the wick is longer. The longer the wick and the next candle opens the opposite color, most likely it's a reversal change. This wick is pretty long. We get the red candle, so it's a reversal change. And this candle is pretty long, and we get the green. This really convinced. Oops. This really convinced us that it was going to change trend, and then we got the push. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
okay. Yep.
Yeah. Don't worry. This is the first example. We have. It's gonna start to click. I know we're still pretty early in the class. We have plenty of examples to come. It's gonna start to click. We'll just get it going.
Hey Ryan, can you explain quickly on your strat 0, 1, and 2? Just define them for me.
Okay. So strat 0 is just EMA. It's just playing off EMA. Let's go back to the example. Yeah. This is an example. So strat 0 is just using the EMA on SPY and using the EMA on XPX. So strat 0, but it has to, they both need to combine. You can't just do one or the other because most likely it won't work. You need both of them to combine. I noticed that some of you guys just enter off the chain. That's not the strategy. You need to have SPY correlate with the chain. Notice here we're watching puts. We have the nice retest EMA and we have the retest bounce on XPX. It's a little confusing because this is going up and this is going down, but this is puts. That's why it's going up, because this is selling off, so this is becoming more money. Strat 0 is just EMA. Strat 1 is the low of the day on the range. So basically the low of day, so at the point, this is the cheapest the price has ever been for this XPX contract. This is 2.5. I know it's 2.5 because this is 245, and it would say that this is the low, but this is the low. So the low a day is strat 1. We're playing the strat 1 low a day bounce. So 2.5 is where we're targeting. We get the push up. We're not entering here because we don't know that it's going to bounce here. We're waiting for the retest. It takes about 40 minutes for it to retest, which makes sense because you can see that it pushed up here and then it came back on this reversal candle. I would have not entered because we don't have VWAP. If we hit VWAP, I would have known that's a good entry. We didn't hit VWAP. We reversed right before VWAP. So that's why we didn't catch the miss. That's why it's missed strat 1. We didn't really miss it because it didn't hit the VWAP to enter. That's why we caught the next trade instead. But the lower day strat 1 is you enter off the lower day, but we didn't have the SPY correlation to enter. That's why it's a missed strat 1 entry. We had the entry on XPX. You could have played it. You would have made money, but it's not the right idea. You need to have both correlate. Does that make sense for strat 1?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Strat 2 is VWAP on XPX. I don't think Monday had an example, but we have examples of strat 2, so we'll wait on that real quick. And then for anyone that has I noticed some of you guys play cheaper contracts, so I wanted to include some cheaper strikes. I personally do not play these strikes anymore. I used to, but you know, times changed. So I'm starting to use the $200, $300 contracts. I most likely will not go to 300, 400. I think 20 contracts with 200, 300, or 10 contracts. I think that's a pretty good sizing for me right now. But I wanted to show you guys that, you know, the strats work on every chain at the same time. This is the same play. We're riding this is back in the morning, the initial riding the EMA 9 trend. We got the nice retest here. I think this is the second actual retest. These moved up. This EMA moved up. This was not a retest. Or sorry, this was not a retest. This was the first retest, and then this was the second retest. So second retest does count. We can play 2 retests. You can see here, this is strat 1. The lower day is 105. Put your order at 110 or 105 if you want. You might get partial filled. And we can see here that the lower day was also 105 because this is where it says 105. So this was also 105 on this trade, which we used.
So that was combination of both strat 0 and 1.
What?
This is
Can
like
you repeat that?
so this is like on SPY you're following strat 0, and SPX you're following strat 1.
Yeah, so SPY, well, there's no official strats on SPY because the strats is just, they're used for entries. So when you think of a strat entry, think of XPX chain. Strat 0 on XPX is just EMA. You notice how it says here single option? If you click that, it shows the indicators. I'm trying to find the indicator. Yeah. If you click single option, it takes you to this screen and it has your indicators on it. That's why some of you guys are like, where do you see VWAP? It's on the XPX chain. You just have to click single option over here, and then you can click the green buy button. It doesn't actually buy it. It takes you to this screen right here. And then on the bottom of this cropped picture, it'll say trade. It says this button on the bottom. I use my phone to enter, by the way. I think I've told you guys that. And we have the EMAs here. This is strat 0. This is not a strat 0 play, but this is where you use for strat 0. Okay. So yeah, this is just cheaper contract. If you guys want to use a strike below, this worked as well. Usually they correlate pretty similarly. Oh, here's actually what I was mentioning. So whoever asked the question about, is this a reversal? No, it's not a clear reversal. That's why I said this is a strat 1 play to avoid every time. Noticed it worked, right? The low is 2-3, so you do 2-3 or 2-3-5. I'm not sure. You get the strat 1 play. However, There's no SPY correlation that it actually worked. This is more convincing. This is a better play. This could have worked, but then again, you're kind of guessing. You know, you don't know that it's gonna wick here, right? So you're gonna miss the initial. You're missing this candle, right? Because you're not gonna enter right here, just praying that it goes down. Although it went down, we're not cashing this premium, so you're already gonna pay an extra 20%. That's why this is a play to avoid. We're not getting a clear, concise entry. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm assuming it makes sense. Let me just check the chat real quick. Make sure it makes sense. Okay. Cool. Back to the slideshow. Real quick, let's just recap that real quick. I know I said it a little bit fast. This is a play to avoid. Why? Because we don't have a SPY entry. We don't have a strat 0 on SPY, basically, the EMAs. It's not really strat 0 because strat 0 is on XPX, but it's the same thing with SPY. It's EMAs. EMAs and VWAP, that's basically strat 0. We have it. We have strat 1. The entry is there. We just don't know if it's going to work. Plenty of times, guys, if you guys are watching the chains, you know many times that this just continues going down, going down. That's how we avoid it. This is a play to avoid. We don't have an entry on SPY that correlates with the entry on XPX. Sometimes we get an entry on SPY, but the XPX chain doesn't look that good. Sometimes I say the premium doesn't look good. It's because we don't have an XPX entry. And I'm going to go over more and more examples throughout the days. We're still on Monday. This is only Monday. This strategy works every single day. Doesn't matter. We had FOMC this week. We had trend day. We had Friday choppy. Every day works. So you guys, we're gonna get into it. But yeah, this avoid it. You don't know that it's gonna reverse here. And if you do see that it reverses, this is a good idea to get puts. But then again, you're paying more. You're not gonna catch this premium candle because this is the wick. You're not gonna enter right here at this exact moment. So that's why it's an avoiding play. All right. So that was Monday. I think Monday I went 2 for 2, I assume, or unless, because I'm gonna go over I had 2 red trades, I believe, this week. I'm gonna go over both of them. So I think Monday was a pretty clean day. We had 2 nice alerts. All right. Tuesday was VWAP day. VWAP was a big part of Tuesday lunch hour. So the main candle we're gonna watch is this candle. Let's get into it. And then of course I use it on my phone too. Same chart, just if you want to use the phone. We have the same thing here. We use this. We had a nice bullish uptrend riding EMA 5-minute right here. This was golden. Notice the nice bearish engulfing candle, which is what we want to watch. We like to watch bearish engulfing candles. Right after, shoots right back up. This was a great play. Let's go over that play in a bit. Tuesday. All right. So we had a nice early trade. You know, summer break. I'm not always running in the morning. Sometimes I am able to trade the first 30 minutes. We have an actual strat 2. So whoever mentioned, can you define strat 0, strat 1, strat 2? Here is strat 2. Strat 2 is VWAP. Not on SPY, although we did use VWAP on SPY, but on XPX, the purple line. We had the initial entry. Of course, no one should be trading XPX in the first 10-15 minutes using strats. You know, it's pretty it's not as simple. It's also more volatile. Can you turn off the sink? Thank you. My sister is making food. We have the initial strat 0 entry, or strat 2 entry, sorry, strat 2. No one's entering this. I'm not entering this. But we get the retest. This is the first retest. So this is good. First and second retest. Remember, those are the best. Right here, we get a we get the retest here. I think the low is 235. I'm trying to remember exactly. And our entry was 2.4. Looks like you guys caught it because I got thumbs up. How does it correlate? Let's look at SPY. We have no retest of EMA yet. We have new lows, or we just missed the low, but we're right at the low. We get the initial EMA test right here, and this little movement right here, 33%. We literally made 20-30 cents down, and the SPY contract went up 33%. Why? It's just XPX. That's just how it is. Enter here. This is why we like getting good entries, because the better entries we get, the higher the percentage return, regardless of the movement. We got a nice entry here. We get the nice wick here, 3.2 from 2.4, $80 in about 1 minute, 33%. Pretty simple. It wasn't a crazy trade. It actually, we were technically wrong. We bought puts when it was continuing to going up, but we weren't wrong because we got the good entry. That's what I'm saying with this strategy. You could be wrong and still make good money. Notice that it just kept going up and up and up, but we got the initial rejection. We had the strat entry, and we got 33%.
So Ryan, for your strats on the left
Okay.
side, you're always looking at 1 minute candles, and SPY, you're looking at 5 minute candles, right?
Yes, XPX, the option chains are always the 1 minute candles because it's hard to trade with the 5 minute entries on XPX because, I mean, 5 minutes ago it's at 140 and then it's at 5, so the candle is huge. That's why we have the 1 minute. Always, every single time, 1 minute on the XPX and then 5 minute on SPY. Or 10 minute. It could be 10 minute too, but usually in the morning it's 5 minute, especially when it's the first initial retest. This is the first initial EMA retest from the breakdown dump that we had. However, we could notice, we could have avoided this too. You can see that we didn't have a new low. We didn't make a new low on the previous candle, and we had a nice bullish engulfing candle. So this could have been a sign like, hey, we should avoid this. And if you did avoid this, it was actually kind of a good deal that you avoided it because it did continue going up. But we got a good entry anyways, and we got 33%. Our goal is to get 20%. We got 33, so pretty good. Strat 0 on XPX and SPY. So Strat 0, EMA. So notice we already played this. This is literally the next candle. We're waiting for an EMA retest. So this looks like it went up, but it didn't. I was watching it. It wicked up a bit, and then this candle, it came down here right around I think 10:26. So we still had 4 minutes of the candle, and then the next 3-4 minutes it started pushing up, which is why you can see here that it comes up a bit, has the wick, but then it comes back down, and it comes here, which is where we enter. If you wanted to enter, I didn't enter this because we just made a trade. So I like to, every 5-10 minutes after a trade, I like to just cool down. We just made a trade, don't need to overtrade. But if you missed it and you're trading on your own, you're not using me anymore. That's the whole point. You enter here off the EMA 9. I think you're probably missing $10-15 of the low. It's pretty good entry. And you get in around, I think, 1.8. So this is probably 2.2. This is probably 2.3, 2.4, and this is around 3.31, 3.2. So it's another 33% trade. And notice that this continued going up and up and up and up. So I mean, I took a screenshot at 10:18. I mean, you can see that around 11:30 we're at a new high day. This went up way more than 33%. So let's go over why. Oops. The reason I didn't enter was just because I just did puts on VWAP. I was wrong and still made 32%. That's why entries are so important. Yeah. I don't know why I went back, but that's why entries are so important. But we were wrong and we still made 32%. And then this is for calls. This is strat 0 on calls. So this was the better play. I should have made this play instead, but we still got this play and it worked out. So thank you, Lord. Next trade. I watched this live and I really wanted to alert this, but I kind of hesitated, to be honest. This little VWAP dip kind of faked me out. And then we got the actual retest, which I don't know why I didn't trade this. I missed this. Like, this was a fold by me. Like, I should have done this. So let's go over it. Beautiful strat 0. So strat 0, we have EMA. Or sorry, the VWAP. EMA and VWAP is strat 0. XPX VWAP is strat 2. Remember, don't get confused. Strat 0 on SPY is EMA VWAP. Strat 2 on XPX is just VWAP. So we have low a day, strat 1. The low is 2... I think this is 2.4, 2.35, and here's the low at 2.3, so everybody should get filled. And we have the initial VWAP. Sorry, okay, my fault. This is the first VWAP test. So that's over here. So we're not really trading this, but we get the nice wick down. I'm not sure, this must have been news or something. Notice that we also have a nice resistance here. You can see that this is resistance, rejected, resistance, rejected. That's why I highlighted this. You guys should make sure you guys know your support and resistance zones. It's not necessary. It's not like very key for this, but it is good to know where we rejected previously. We rejected here, we rejected here, and then we actually rejected here again. So that's why I highlighted this area. But this was where we're supposed to enter. This was a VWAP play. So this was perfect. Now I know why I'm kind of upset. This was a perfect VWAP play. So we had strat 0 perfect. It bounced right off VWAP and it went right back up. And we had right here the entry, the low a day entry at 235. Literally 1 minute later, this is over $400 a contract. Oh, let's go over why I talked about. This was the easiest play of the day. Perfect strat 1 entry. Oops. I don't know why it says start. It should say strat. Perfect strat 1 entry off low a day range. Here's our low a day, 235. We get the low at 23. So if you put your order at 235 or 24, you're getting filled and you're not even going to see it. You're not even going to see it be red because it reversed so quick. VWAP strat 0 confirmation. Yep, VWAP on SPY. That's why it's strat 0. Over 100% in 3 minutes. Yeah. So this was the play of the day that we missed, unfortunately. But now you guys know. So hopefully you don't miss it. I might miss it, but you won't miss it. All right, another play that we missed. I mean, we're gonna miss plays all the time. These happen there's a strat play every hour, every 2 hours. So you just gotta catch 1 or 2 a day and you're straight. Strat 0 EMA. I'm gonna say this a lot. It's gonna be stuck in your head. You're gonna dream about me saying strat 0. Strat 0 EMA. Here's our remember the candle I was talking about? This is where we are at. This is the candle we're talking about from earlier. Beautiful retest EMA 9 5-minute. This is the second retest, so it is counting. First and second retest count. You can see here, this was our first retest. I assume that this wick down here, this is definitely touching EMA. This is the second retest right here. This is a little cheaper contract. I think these were around maybe $190, $200. It is end of day. It's around 2 p.m. So that's probably why it's a little bit cheaper. But we have the nice strat 2 on VWAP. You can see we have the purple line. That's where you enter. This is a perfect play. And we just rode EMA. You see how EMA on SPY and EMA on XPX kind of work the same? We're riding it up. It's not always exact, but when it's a trendy day like on Tuesday, they do correlate pretty well. And then we're going to go over this in a bit. But the second retest, this was a play that I missed. Another missed play by me. Pretty solid entry off EMA 9 5-minute. And we had the strat 2 XPX VWAP entry. This play ran over 400%. So yeah, Tuesday was it was an off day for me. I feel like I really could have made more money on Tuesday. And I'm kind of glad I'm doing this class because I'm also recapping myself and teaching myself more and more what I need to do better to get better alerts for you guys and of course make more money. So yeah, this was a really good play as well. And that's it. I guess that's the end for Tuesday. Any questions on Tuesday? All right.
I have
Oh, yeah.
why you're not watching SPX because you're trading in SPX, that watching is fine. Any reason?
So with SPY, there is actual volume on SPY. So you have a VWAP on SPY. When you're actually watching the XPX chart, there's no VWAP, if you notice. And you can use XPX to trade EMA, but I really do like the VWAP on SPY. So that's why I watch SPY 5-minute. And I'm actually, when I'm watching SPY and sometimes I'm watching the actual XPX chart, like the 4,000, 3,000, the actual chart, the candle seems to move like 1 second faster on SPY than XPX. I'm not sure if maybe it's just Webull, but I noticed that SPY candles are like, they're more timed, like the time is, it's like more real time than the actual XPX. It might be different on a different broker, but the main reason is because there's VWAP on SPY and there's no VWAP on XPX. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, Caden just texted me. He was sleeping. We have it recorded, so it's okay. Did someone unmute? Does anyone have a question? I'm about to get into Wednesday.
So I had a question about the EMA strat 0. Do you
Yes.
use 9 or 21? Any choice?
Yes, I do use 21 EMA. I just haven't had the 9 EMA was pretty strong this week. If you notice the 5-minute, so if we're on the 5-minute, the 5-minute 21 EMA is very, very, very similar to the 10-minute 9 EMA. So most of the time you don't even need to use the 21 EMA, but sometimes if you want to stay on the 5-minute chart because it's just better for you, when you get the initial for actually right here, this didn't touch it, but you can see that after a couple of retests, the EMA 9 gets weak and weak and weak. You can see that it starts to curl down a bit. The EMA 21 is still looking strong. It's still going up, and you can actually get an entry off here. It wasn't perfect this time around, but you can notice what the heck? But you can notice that the EMA 21 is still a little bit stronger than EMA 9, and that's why we use EMA 21 as well. And then you can actually see that it correlate on XPX. You can see that the EMA 9 right here, it broke under EMA 9, and we had a perfect EMA 21 entry on XPX. That's why we use EMA 21 as well. Does that make sense? Because right here, we had a perfect EMA 21 entry.
Got it.
However, I'm not going to lie to you and say I would have entered this because I would have not. This would have been I would have put a comment saying, oh, just missed EMA 21, womp womp, you know? But that's most of the time it will hit it, and we have the correlation here. And this would have been, I mean, these contracts are worth $700-800 at this point, so it would have been a different chain. We already had our entry over here. Hopefully, next time around. So that's Tuesday. Tuesday was. Oh, someone had a question.
Yeah. So if like one strike correlates with the SPY, do you think it would
Mhm.
correlate with others too? I mean, so you're looking at 53.65. If I look at 53.60 at the same time.
Yes, that's if we go back to the other yeah. So this was that's why I mentioned putting a little cheaper. I know some of you guys play a strike under. This is the same movement as the other I'm trying to find the actual other one. Yeah, this is the same movement. This is a different chain, but it's a little bit more expensive, but we have the same movement on strat 1 and strat 0. This is the same movement, same entry, and we had the same 100% move. So yes, most of the time, let me go back to where we are. Most of the time, the cheaper contract will follow. It's not always going to be exact. Sometimes the actual cheaper contract might be the perfect entry compared to the little more expensive contract, but I just personally always trade the $200-300 contracts. But yes, the cheaper contract does correlate. You're going to have your strat, like this right here is a cheaper contract because it's only $200, and you get the strat 1, you get the strat 2 entry with VWAP. So yes, the cheaper contracts do correlate well. I just personally watch the $200-300 contracts, and I assume most of you guys take my trades, or you use my trades as Confluence for your own trades. You guys are trading the same strike. That's why a majority is going to be the strikes that I actually use. But yes, to answer your question, they do correlate very, very similarly. I mean, at the end of the day, it's an XPX call. We get the entry, and we cooling up. It's going to go up as well.
Thank
you. All right. Now, this was the day I took the most time on because it's FOMC. We had a pretty fun week. I think this was a really good week to do the class. We have Chop Day. We had Chop Day Friday, which we're going to go over on Friday. Trend Day Tuesday. We had a little trend on Thursday. And we have FOMC on Wednesday. So, obviously, we didn't make any trades in the morning, but I wanted to circle everything that happened. We have our initial rejection. Remember, we don't know that's going to reject here. So, after it rejects, just draw a line. Draw a quick line. This is where we rejected. And notice here, if you'd like to play lottos, you could have just entered puts here, and it would have worked. I'm sure there's a strat 4 play around here because we had a nice 3 candles, so a lot of premium decay, and I'm sure this play probably went over 500, 600%. I mean, this drop from 544 to 540, $4 drop on SPY. You know how bad XPX is gonna decay with that. So always draw a little line. I don't always show it on my charts, but I do like to draw a little support and rejection zones. We had a nice rejection here. Drop, and then here rejected again. Draw another line. This line didn't work. That's okay. It's just for your chart, just to see how it works. We're not entering off the lines anyways. Just for a little detail. This one worked better than this one. Now, little circles. What we got here? Nice wick. It's shown this is a sign of a reversal. However, let's not say it worked. It didn't really work very well. We got a little push up, but then it came back down. But it's FOMC. That's why, FOMC is FOMC. Nobody's really trading FOMC before 2 p.m. But this is a nice reversal candle. Off VWAP as well. Another VWAP entry. This is not a reversal candle. It's just a little red candle on the VWAP. And then we got a little push up. EMA 21. Notice how I said, somebody asked why I use EMA 21. We had the nice EMA 21 rejection. And then notice this little circle. I know it's not completely zoomed in. Somebody mute mic, please. Oh, someone got a question? I'll do that after. Can you please go a bit slower? Oh yeah, just if I'm going too fast, just interrupt me. I know some of you guys, English is not your first language. I understand. How do you select a contract? Any contract that is $200 to $300. You can select any contract. It's just the ones that are $200 to $300 are the ones that I'm watching because that's the one that I like to enter. You got a recording? Okay, perfect. Yes, I'll go a little bit slower. Just if I'm speaking too fast or you want me to go over something, don't worry, guys. We have a whole out. I mean, we could be here for all night. I got nothing to do. Let's go back to the slideshow. Okay, back to this. Notice the white line, which is my EMA 9. You guys can see here, and EMA 21 is the orange line. I like to put it dotted. Some of you guys like single lines. I like mine dotted for 9 and 21. It just, I don't know, it looks more appealing to me. Notice we have the cross, the EMA 921 cross. I mentioned that sometimes in my alerts. This is bullish. This is basically a bullish signal. The EMA 9 is pushing it back above EMA 21. signifying a nice EMA, a nice bullish trend. And we're gonna use this in a bit in the entry that we did. Also right around here, notice the EMA 9 rejection. This adjusted towards the end of the day because it went back up, but this was a touch. It was going down. Oops. It was going down, but it adjusted because the candle went back up, so that's why it went a little flat, because this is towards the end of the day. But in the moment, this was an EMA 9 retest. And this is all on the 5-minute chart, 5-minute time frame. So let's go over FOMC. So we actually had a play. Notice the VWAP touches. Strat 2. I don't trade before 2 p.m. Eastern on FOMC. I don't recommend anyone does it, but if you do, we're not judging you. We had the Strat 2 and Strat 0. Remember, SPY and EMA, or VWAP and EMA on SPY is Strat 0. Strat 2 on VWAP is XPX. So we had our little entry here. Wasn't exact, so maybe you missed it. I'm gonna assume maybe you didn't miss it because I like to do $5 above just to make sure we get filled. Here's the EMA the VWAP entry. It did also just miss VWAP too, so I guess we might have probably missed it. But the good news is we got a retest. This is our first retest. Oh, sorry, second retest. This is our first retest. Let's just assume that we missed the first retest. It didn't touch. You can see here that there's a little gap. There's a little gap here. But you get the second retest. Remember, I like playing the first and second retest. Third retest it's a little iffy. I wouldn't really play it. You get the wick here. Perfect. You do 1.8 because that's the low anyways. This is also kind of strat 1. This is actually strat 1 and strat 2 because the low of day is 1.8. Or at least in this. Maybe it's not. Maybe it was a little bit cheaper here. But if it is, then this is the low of day. So you can do 1.8 anyways. You have strat 2 to support it. And you can see here that we have the little wick, which is beautiful. And we get the little reversal here. So this went from 1.8 to 2.8. So $100 move. It's around like 50, 60%, maybe 70. My math is not too right. But again, I don't trade before 2 p.m. Eastern anyways. But it was that 2 play that worked before the chaos at 2 p.m. Okay, now we're actually getting into... Oh no, we're still actually in chop zones. This is another play I would have not taken because it's not 2 p.m. You know, there hasn't been news yet. But we have strat 0 on puts. Notice the EMA 21 and the EMA 9, they're crossing here. So that's a bearish signal. And then you have EMA 9 to enter. So you enter, I'm not sure exactly what price this is at. This is 300, so I'm assuming this is around 260, 250, maybe 240. So if you enter right on the line, you're going to miss about $10 max. I mean, it's not too big of a line. And then it goes back up and up and up. And this is probably around 20, 30% play. You can see here that basically you're just playing this and you're playing, this is where it peaked right here, is where it peaked right here. And then it started to chop again before the 2 p.m. news. This screenshot was right before 2 p.m. That's why it's no volatile. Just another strat play. I don't play, again, none of us really should be playing FOMC before 2 p.m., but the strats work every day, so just had to point it out. All right. Let's actually get into a trade that we actually took. Actual alert using strat 0. It's a lotto because FOMC, you know what's going to happen with FOMC. We have strat 0 on SPY. I wish I had a screenshot of the XPX, but I'm going to mention it here anyways. Let's actually talk about this. So this trade was more based on SPY, PA, price action, rather than the XPX chain itself. Oh, so actually I didn't even use the XPX strat for this play. That's why it's a lotto. Usually when I do a lotto, it's because it's just on SPY or if it's just on XPX. Both don't correlate, but this is why it's good to understand SPY price action. There was no clear strat entry on XPX. That's probably why I didn't include a picture of XPX. There's no clear strat entry on XPX. This is why it is important we understand SPY price action as much as XPX. Otherwise, we would have not caught this trade for 100%. So, how do we make the trade? Entry off EMA 9 retest after first breakout. Now, back to before. Notice the 9/21 crossing up. Right here. This little thing I circled. Oh, wait, sorry. Right here. Notice the 9/21 EMA crossing up. This was what I really used for my entry because we didn't have a strat entry. So I'm already paying a little, I might be paying 10, 15, 20% extra on the premium, which is not too bad, but we want to be 0%, you know? We want that percentage for ourselves. So notice this entry, let's go back. Notice the 921 crossing up, which is a bullish signal. This causes more buyer volume, which is how we got our rally and Ripper candle. What's the Ripper candle? This is the Ripper candle. A Ripper candle is basically a bullish engulfing candle that goes to higher day. I just call it the Ripper candle. It's not an actual trading definition, but it's just something I say. And then let's go over the actual alerts that I sent in Discord. So we entered the XPX 5450 call at $220. Lotto usually I did 5, maybe 7. I usually it's 5 to 7 contracts max. You know, $1,000 to $1,500 max. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I put 4K in lottos. No way. As long as we stay above 542.50, should get 3-0. So 542.50 is the EMA. You can see this is 543, 542 in the middle, 542.50, boom, EMA. And we were chopping a bit. You know, we had a little wick here. So that's why I mentioned premium started to decay faster. We need a Ripper candle if we want to get 100%. These small pushes won't cut it. So what I was noticing is that SPY was making little new highs. This is on the 10-minute chart, by the way, guys. It's on the 10-minute. However, if you use the 5-minute, it would have worked too. It's just the 10-minute had a clearer entry. But the 5-minute did have an EMA entry as well. I was checking it earlier. But I'm using the 10-minute because it's towards the end of the day. I like using 10-minute towards the end of the day. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. 10-minute towards the end of the day is pretty safe. It's safer, especially because there's only an hour left on these contracts, so they can go to zero pretty fast. And so we need the Ripper candle. This right here is the Ripper candle. We got a new high day. I guess the high was probably 543.38, and the new high is 543.42, and we got 100%. And I know I got stopped out on my last. I think I had one. I think I only had one contract left, anyways, and then it stopped out. So that was the actual trade I used on Strat Zero. Any questions on this? Because this was a little bit more confusing because there's no XPX entry, but I want you guys to understand that you can still use SPY price action to trade towards the end of the day if there's no clear XPX entry.
Yeah.
Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain your thought process on what happened between like 2 o'clock and 2:10 p.m. on that day? Because at
Yeah.
2 o'clock, 2:01, you took a put of 53.75 and you made money and you got, exited. And within a minute, you said you are looking at puts again. But within 3 minutes, you said you are looking at calls. It happened in like 10 minutes on that day.
Let me go back to let me go to my alert channel on my phone. I must have missed this. I must have not had any screenshots, so I probably forgot about it. Let's go back to Wednesday. I'm gonna recap what I thought.
It was
I'm up.
June 12th.
Huh?
June 12th.
Yeah. All right. I'm just looking. I know you guys can't see my phone. I'm looking at my alert channel just to see what I was thinking on June 12th. We also have. Let's go back to the SPY chart from Wednesday. So 2 o'clock, 2:10. So right around here.
Yeah, you started
Oh,
at
so why am
2:01.
So why am I watching puts? Well, initially I'm watching puts because we had a nice break of the low. Nice new low. This is the low, and we got a nice low a day. So I'm watching puts. And I guess I don't think I entered because there wasn't a clear XPX strat entry. So I wasn't gonna enter off the EMA.
You entered 153.75 put. It.
Oh, I did enter? Let me see.
Yeah.
So I make a bunch of trades, I guess. I should have put this in the chat. Let's go over that. Okay, so what he was talking about is sorry, my phone is a little laggy. But yeah, we'll go over this real quick. You're talking about 2 o'clock?
2:01.
2:01?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so this was a lotto play. So oh, so you know what? I did take the EMA 9 retest. Now that I'm thinking about it. So yes, I entered the 5375 put at 2.4. Yes, lotto. So 5 cons, 6. I think I did 5 cons of this one because it was pretty early. So yes, I entered off this EMA 9. We have the EMA 9 retest. I don't know exactly what the XPX chain was. I mean, it was on Wednesday. Yeah, the 5. I can't see what I entered off. Like, was it off of EMA? Was it off VWAP? But the reason I entered this was we had the low a day. This is the low right here. We broke the low. We got the retest. Here's where I entered, and then this is as far as we got, and we only got 16%. Yeah, this was not a crazy good. It wasn't a I'm sure some of you guys stopped out at break even, or if you took a 10-20% loss. It wasn't a crazy good play. That's probably why I didn't recap, because it wasn't something that I would like to teach. But
And you
it's
see
good to go over.
puts again.
Huh?
And within a
Yeah.
minute,
Okay. Now I say might re-enter puts again under 2-0. The reason why I didn't re-enter puts again was because we got the next break. This was right after I got out, and we got the breakthrough. So now it's showing, and you see how this EMA is starting to curl up a bit. You see how it's starting to curl up. This is curling up a bit. It's showing more bullish strength. That's probably why I was saying watching calls now, and then I said no entry, holding off till 2:30ish. No entry because we're going up and we're going back down. We're going up, going back down. It's all chop. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So yeah, if you're seeing EMA being tested multiple times in a little time frame, it's definitely chop. Like right here, this is terrible. You can't trade EMA. It's in the middle of a candle. You don't want EMAs to be in the middle of the candle. The best entries are when it wicks off it. You want the low to be at the candle or the EMA. See how this is the low, or this is the high on the EMA. This is the low on the EMA. This is the high on the EMA. This is all chop zone. That's probably why I said no entry, holding off till 2:30. And then we get the XPX 5460 call lotto. So let's go over this trade as well. This is another trade. If you guys look at my alert channel, I entered the XPX 5460 call at $190. Another 5-con trade. I remember now, it's only $1,000 with the fees. This was at 243. So this was, trying to think where this would be. Oh, yeah. So I entered off this. This is where I entered. I was probably, so you see how I see here? Y'all probably got a better entry than me. So this is what I did. I entered off this EMA. It wicked below it. That's why I said you guys got a better entry than me. That was solid, still in a few down at the moment. And then right after we got the push up, and I scaled at 2.5 for 32%. So I entered here. It dipped below, so I was definitely down 25%. Pushed right back up. And I scaled 2.5. And then stopped out. Exit out last few here at 1.8. Gonna do one more lotto, hoping for a trend. So yeah, this is why FOMC is very hard to trade. I mean, this was all over the place. But that's exactly, now I remember exactly what I did. One more time, let's go over it again. We entered off EMA right here. Sorry, right here. We got a little bit of a dip, so I was down a bit. That's why I said y'all probably got a better entry than me. And then we got I don't know what this was. I don't remember if this continued going down here and then pushed up, or if it went like this and then wicked and then started chopping. I don't remember exactly, but I'm assuming that it wicked. You guys got a better entry than me. That's why I said it. And then it pushed up. We scaled, and then I got stopped out on this candle, and it went all the way down here. But yeah, FOMC, tough trade. Tough day to trade for sure. The good news is we got the clean trade. Let's go back to the actual trade that we made. Alerting it. Well, these were all alerts that I made too as well, but that one that I want to go over with the EMA 9 and 21 crossing. This is more clear. We see that a bullish trend is coming. Notice how this candle didn't make a new low a day. When a candle doesn't make a new low a day, it's pretty bullish. Same with high day. Like if a candle doesn't make a new high, it's pretty bearish. We want to see new lows on SPY if you're going to play puts. If you want to see higher low, you see this is a low, this is a higher low, that's bullish. That's why I see that we're making a trend. We're going to push to the upside, and we got the Ripper candle. What's the Ripper candle? This is the Ripper candle. I think this is where this is the little range, and then we got the little high day, and we rejected. Oh, I forgot I did another trade. Hold up. I have one more trade I did on I keep forgetting I made like 4 trades today. So we have another trade. I took this at the end of the day. That's why it says 5 cents, but this wasn't at 5 cents at the time. This was an actual alert using Strat 0 on SPY and XPX. Again, Strat 0, EMA. Here's the EMA on XPX, and then here's the EMA on SPY. So remember, we entered EMA, we entered off calls here, and then I got stopped out, and we got the retest of puts. This doesn't look like a retest, but at the time, it did come back down here, and then the same candle went back up to EMA, and we had a nice bearish engulfing candle. Remember, I like to say bearish engulfing candle. It's a good candle to watch. So that's why we entered. So that's why I mentioned it here. Let's read this. Nice retest on the XPX chain EMA. So remember, the same candle, yes, it did go up, but this immediately after, this is 1 minute later, it comes back down. So this candle, this is how it worked. It went like this, it rejected, it came back up, and then it rejected again. Same candle. That's why it was a retest. It's the first retest. It does count as a retest because it did already break and then retested, and it happened very fast. This is, I mean, look at the time. It's 3:30. There's 30 minutes left in the market. Nice retest on the XPX chain EMA for entry. Low is 1.05. I'm trying to think where I know that the low is 1.05. Well, it's not. Oh yeah, this is not strat 1. This is strat 0. So yeah, the low was 1. This right here was 1.05, but I'm entering off the EMA. So I got in at 1.1. Oh, man, I need to read every picture. Okay, so this wasn't a play that I actually made. I just alerted it. I'm not in, but I like 5400 put at 1.1. Cause yeah, now I see why I got confused. I didn't actually enter this trade. I should have read the screenshot, but I did alert it for you guys. So I did want to show you guys why I alerted it. I'm not in, but I like 5400 put at 1.1 lotto. So this is why I would have entered if I didn't do the trade. I guess I was done for the day after this one because I had a 100% lotto. So I mean, can't get lucky twice, right? But we did. So 1.1, the low is 1.05. And SPY was also doing its first retest at EMA 9, which gave the double confirmation needed. Remember, we need 2 confirmations. SPY, EMA, XPX, EMA. Strat 0, both strat 0. And then, of course, here I said, yeah, I should probably have read the whole thing. However, I was already 3 for 3 on the day and done. Wink emoji. Haha. So, yeah, this wasn't an actual alert I did. I didn't actually get filled on any of this. So maybe it didn't even hit 1.1, but I mean, the low was 1.05. So I assumed if you had an order at 1.1, you would have been filled on Webull or TOS or whatever you trade on. And that was just a quick lotto. It was at 3:30. So, I mean, yeah. Any questions on this? Okay, perfect. Oops, let me go back to the actual chat. How do you select the contract? I mean, which strike to watch? Oh, I think I answered this. It's just, I just like watching the strikes that are $200-$300 each. What the heck? Sorry, that's my sister. I don't know what she's doing. Oh, is someone at me? Make sure you guys type in the actual class. I don't really read this, but I'll read it. Quick question. When you're alerting that you're watching EMA 9 or EMA 21 on 5-minute or 10-minute, are you referring to SPY or XPX? SPY. Every single time I'm watching EMA 9 or 21, it's always SPY. It's never going to be XPX. By these examples, it seems like you're looking at EMAs on XPX option premiums a lot. Yeah, I do want to try and find a nice entry on XPX, but when I'm saying watching 5-minute 9 EMA, it's always going to be SPY. It's always going to be on SPY, never on XPX. Lots of the time, it's not even EMA on XPX, you know? It might be like over here and we're watching VWAP. But yeah, always SPY. Sounds good?
And
Perfect.
you make sure they correlate, right?
Huh? Yeah, they need to correlate. You need to have both. You need double confirmation. Last year, I would just enter off XPX, but I tried to adjust the strategy, make it more accurate, and I think this is way more accurate having double confirmation. But we're gonna go over a trade. I know I made a trade on Friday that I lost 35%, and we had everything that we needed. It just didn't work out. It's gonna happen. That's just trading. So we're gonna get into that. Okay, one sec. Let me tell my sister to like turn off music real quick. Give me 1 minute. All right. Don't worry about the time, guys. I know I said 8 to 10, but we're gonna get everything done. All questions, like, I'll be here till midnight if I need to be. I got nothing to do. So don't worry about like the pause or anything. It's not gonna go over with the time. Real quick, just to make sure everything's on the same page. You guys can still see my screen, correct? We're on to Thursday.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, perfect. It's not lagging, I hope. If I'm speaking too fast, like earlier, I know I just start yapping. You can just interrupt me, say, slow it down, repeat it. Don't worry, no offense. I do talk fast. I don't know why I talk fast. I'm just fast in general, you know? Right? All right, Thursday, June 13th. So Thursday was EMA day. So what was Wednesday? Wednesday was VWAP day with FOMC apparently. And Thursday is EMA day. So yeah, I don't know why, but Thursday was really good with EMAs. So let's just recap all the EMA entries that we could potentially have had, and then we're gonna go over the actual XPX strat correlations. So breakdown, right? We're pushing up, but we get the breakthrough under EMA. So now we're watching puts. Next candle, we get the EMA plus VWAP and EMA 21. So all three indicators are correlating here. So this was a beautiful. I think this is why I put a rectangle on it, or a square. This was a beautiful EMA retest. This is the first retest. Breakdown. Here's the second retest. Breakdown again. This is the third retest. However, I don't really like playing the third retest, but it did work. You got the rejection, and you got more of a wick here. And then the fourth retest, it broke through. And then it broke through. VWAP, this is the first, this is the second VWAP rejection. This is the first VWAP rejection / EMA, second EMA, third EMA, but this is the second VWAP rejection. And it rejected back down to a new low a day. I actually had one of my, I know I haven't shared my SPY 30-minute levels. I'm going to share my levels tonight, again, posted on Twitter and on Discord. But I had my actual SPY 30-minute level that I use for support and resistance. It had a nice bounce off that. And then we're watching, we could be watching puts here, but we had a nice bullish engulfing candle, so I wouldn't want to play puts. You don't want to play the nice, like the actual big bullish engulfing or bearish engulfing candles if it shows a sign of trend change. So that's why I wasn't playing calls here. And then we're waiting for the retest of of EMA. Wait for a retest of EMA here for calls because we broke through EMA here, and we get it here. VWAP right here, broke through VWAP again. You could play, actually no, we're not, because this is the third retest of VWAP. So it broke through. Don't play the third retest. This is the first retest. Second retest is the third retest. It did not work. So we're not playing that anyways. Watching VWAP for calls, though, you could do that because it broke VWAP, waiting for the retest of VWAP for calls because we're playing the bullish trend. We had a nice bullish engulfing candle. It's not a reversal signal, but it's a bullish engulfing candle to the upside. And now the EMA is right here. You see how the EMA 9 and 21 are curling up? It's the same thing every day. Another bullish signal. And then we get another VWAP retest. I don't think we would have played this because we already had this one. And then we have the EMA 9 ride on the 5-minute. And this is the 21 EMA, or you can use the 10-minute 9 EMA. This is basically the same thing. We get the retest here. So, seems confusing. Wouldn't blame you. I mean, you're probably wondering, like, what could I have done here? I don't know what XPX is doing. Let's get into XPX. So, this was not an official, I didn't make a trade on this because I would have mentioned an actual alert. If it says actual alert, I actually made the trade. If it just says strat 0, strat 2, it's a play that we could have made, but we didn't. So, going all the way back to here, I mentioned that this is a perfect entry. Here is the entry right here. It's currently 930, 935, 940, 945, 950. It's around 950. So right here. Oh, never mind. I have two pictures. So this is 950 right around here. This is why I highlighted it. This is your entry. You have strat 2. Why is it strat 2? VWAP. You got the VWAP right here. You see the purple line, watching. There's your entry. There's your EMA entry. This is perfect. You get the push up. And you would get stopped out at break even, but you would have scaled already here. This is definitely, I think that's probably 20, maybe 30, 35% here. And then you get the second retest, which was the better play. Remember, I mentioned earlier, sometimes the second retest is better. Here's another example where the second retest of EMA was actually the better play. Because you enter here off EMA, You have strat 2 again. Now you enter here, you might be down a bit, 20-25%, but you're not cutting it. Why? Because SPY hasn't broken EMA. Your XPX might have been a little bit it might have you might have got a entry off the VWAP, but it didn't bounce right away. We're using SPY as well, so we have double confirmation, SPY and XPX. The SPY EMA didn't break over. A little wick there, you're not gonna stop out on a little wick there, let's be real. You want it to actually break EMA. So it didn't break EMA. You get the strat 2 bounce again, and we get the actual move this time. This is what we wanted. We wanted that over here, but we got it over here on the second retest, and we get the 100% move. And then there's actually another, I don't know why I highlighted this. It has nothing to do with this chart. It's just showing that the that strat 2 worked 3 times. And for people that mentioned, can you use a cheaper strike? Look, this is the 5400 put. This is the 5395 put. This is more expensive, but the strat 1 worked here, and the strat worked here, and the strat worked here, and the strat worked here. I just didn't highlight this, but it worked here as well, and it worked here as well. Somebody have a question? No? Okay, cool. All right, then. Let's continue. Oh, wait. Let's see here. Oh, make sure you guys add me, though. I can't see my Discord. Is there a certain criteria for when you use 5-minute versus 10-minute? Yeah. Well, let me know if I didn't already answer this, but I used the 10-minute towards the end of the day, or if we already had an EMA 9 retest. If I already hit the EMA 9, then I start to watch the EMA 9 on the 10-minute, or you can use the EMA 21. I'm trying to read this one. Not this Friday, but it was on June. Oh, I remember what you're talking about. Oh, I have to see. Not this Friday, but it was on June 7th, Friday, sometime in the afternoon. You entered the trade on call side. Sorry. But it was dumping and you did not cut. God, it's like something in my nose. And you mentioned it was a fake dump, and as you said, it was a fake dump. It came back up and you made solid profits. How did you confirm or came to know it was a fake dump and reason for you to stay in that trade? That's a really good question. I don't remember exactly. Let's see if I can. Let's go to June 7th. Let's go back to June 7th and let's see if I can answer this. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know I made a trade where I was down a lot and I was like, this is a fake pump. Oh, here we go. This is June 7th, guys. You guys can see my Weeble, right? Yes. Yeah, this is what I call flamingo effect. It's not actually a trading style. It's just something bullshit I made up. You guys can see my Weeble, right? This is my actual broker. Don't take my account though. There's no money in it, trust. So yeah, I think I entered off VWAP and we broke under and I'm like, this is a fake dump. Why was it a fake dump? I'm trying to answer the question myself, to be honest. I don't have a clear reason why I thought it was a fake dump. I think there was a news that came out that wasn't bearish, but it made it dump. And I think I mentioned that on the alert saying this is a fake dump. And it reversed. This is something that I don't want to like prioritize. I would never actually do this. I would rather you guys stop out. This was pretty lucky. It's just a flamingo effect, but that's not actually a thing. It's just something that we say when we're down and we're praying. So I don't really know exactly why it reversed. I don't know why I said it would reverse and it did. So to answer your question, I still don't know to this day how it actually came back up. All I can say that I know for sure was there was a little news that came out, but it wasn't really like bad news. It was just something with economic that it didn't need to dump like this. And speaking of which, the reason why I also didn't cut is because we had a new low, but then we had the bullish engulfing candle anyways. If we kept going down to our low a day, then I mean I would have been down almost 100% anyways. So the fact that we didn't continue dumping because of news and show that this was just sell the news, blah, 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 and it came back up, and we got the bullish engulfing candle, and we got the break above EMA. Yeah, Necro said, just learning price action experience trading, you can kind of tell. Yeah, this is not like a clear strat. Why did I know it was going to reverse? It's just sometimes you just know like this, hey, this news wasn't news. It's fake news. It's you know the saying, sell the news, buy the the conspiracy, like before the actual news. That's what I thought it would be, and it. Yeah.
Yeah, buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah, that was the buy the rumor, sell the news. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Sorry, I don't know why I said conspiracy. Same thing though, right? But yeah, that is a good question. That is something that it was just me getting lucky. Let's answer your next question. How do you decide 9 EMA compared to a 21 EMAs? Oh yeah, if it's just if the first test is on the EMA 9 5-minute and you want to play the second test, I would rather use the EMA 21 on the 5-minute or EMA 9 on the 10-minute because they both move pretty similarly. Let's go back to Thursday. All right, let's start Thursday. Make sure you guys don't have any questions. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you guys have questions, just put it in this one. Don't put it in the voice chat. Put it in the actual Discord chat. GC moving nicely. Huh. I don't want to alert right now, but I will trade some gold after because I'm down 300. So way to go. That's why I like options better because I know what I'm doing. All right, Thursday, the EMA day. Oh, we already went over this. So let's go on to the next one. All right. This was the worst play I've made in a while. Why? Let's go over this. I don't know why I did this play. This was a failed strat 0 plus strat 2 play. But it wasn't a strat play. I broke my rule. I don't know why I entered this. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was lack of sleep. This was terrible idea. Let's go over why it didn't work. The reason that this play didn't work was 4th time playing EMA rejection. I don't know why I thought right here it would reject. Oh, sorry, I entered. This is probably where I entered. So this was the 4th time. I entered off here. Off VWAP. Right here. This is where I entered. It was already the 5th, basically almost the 5th time. I don't know why I entered here. You can notice why. You see why I highlighted this candle? This candle didn't make a new low a day, which is bullish.
Te pido perdón en nombre de mi gobierno y de mi pueblo por los pecados de la soberbia, la avaricia.
Who is that?
Hey, Tony, mute yourself.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Tony,
Tony
yeah.
Sam.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Tony. It's all good. Okay. Back to the class. So yeah, back to what I was saying. This was a terrible idea. I hope you guys did not play this. It was just, I don't know why I entered this. It was the 4th retest of EMA, which was already a no-no. I don't even play the 3rd retest. I don't know why I played the 4th retest. I think I was just chasing. I missed the whole dump, and it was just a terrible idea. And I played VWAP again. This was the 3rd retest. 1, 2. This was the 3rd one, which is another rule. Why would I play the 3rd retest? I only like the 1st and 2nd retest. We had a higher low, low, higher low. So there was 3 signals to not make this trade. Yet I still made the trade. That's why I cut fast. It was the right play to cut fast. Like the best play for me was to not make the play. So I entered 5395 puts at 285, which was right here, and then I cut it at 24, which I believe was right around here. So I wanted to show you guys this because I know some of you guys also like to chase sometimes. Don't chase. It's just not worth it. We missed a whole dump. It's my bad. I was probably doing something with track or something. You have the VWAP strat 1 or strat 2, sorry, VWAP strat 2. First retest, you can play it. Second retest was even better. Another example of why the second retest is also pretty good. This bounced way better than this one. This one, you're still down 10-15%. And then here's the 3rd retest. I don't know why I played the 3rd retest. Do not play 3rd retest on EMA or VWAP. It just doesn't work. I mean, it works sometimes, but clearly it didn't work this time. So this was a failed strat 0 plus strat 2 play. We had the double confirmation, right? We had another EMA retest. And we had the VWAP entry on XPX. Doesn't mean it's going to work, right? It didn't work. It broke right through it. So I cut fast. So yeah, sorry to the 4 people that got in. Let's go over some good plays now. Nice strat 0 plus strat 2 play. All right. Strat 0, EMA, SPY. Strat 2, VWAP, XPX. This is puts, by the way. You can see that it says puts. So notice the breakthrough down on the EMA showing seller strength. right here, we get the breakdown. So probably around here, I'm like, okay, I'm watching puts. Well, I obviously didn't because I didn't make the trade. But another day, hopefully next week when I'm actually locked in, we're watching puts. And this was, at the time, the EMA was touching here. It just adjusted because it kept going down and down. Sometimes, this was taken at the end of the day. But the EMA was touching here. That's why I highlighted it. It was over here, not over here. There's two highlights here. The EMA was touching, so you did get the retest and the VWAP entry, which went over 100%. So you get the break, you get the break. This is over here because the candle is over here. Remember, we're playing puts, so this is why it's very expensive up. This is why it's going up, and this is going down. This is SPY selling, SPY put or XPX puts going up. Retest off VWAP. So you're entering right here. You're probably down 20, 30 bucks max, which is nothing really if you think about it on XPX contracts that are $200-$300 each. And then we get the retest and we get the dump, low a day, and I had one of my support and resistance levels. I'm gonna share these levels at the end of the class. And we hit I believe this was around 2.6, so we hit 5.4, so over 100%, about 105, 106%. And that was just a really good zero strat 2 play. This is perfect. This is what we like. We like the breakdown, first retest, enter, and you have the strat 2. These are always the ones that pay the most. I don't know why I didn't take it. Maybe I was still depressed from this one. I don't know. But now you guys know how to do it, so you don't need me. But we made an actual alert using strat 0 and strat 2. So I played the second retest. Of course, the time that I played, the second retest wasn't as good as the first retest. This is the same thing, guys. Remember, 5-4, 5-4. It's the same strike. But this is the second retest, so it does count because it's the second retest, not the third one. And then of course my luck, it wasn't the second retest wasn't as good as the first retest. But we still got 20%. I did get partial fill at 3, but the majority was 295, so I did alert at 295. And I was really confident with this play. We had both strats working. This reversed by our really good entry still got us 18 and 20%. And that's all we need. Again, if you're not scaling at 20%, you must have a $50, $60, $70,000 account, because if I'm with $1,000 or $2,000 on Webull next week and I hit 20% and my contracts are up 50 bucks, I'm scaling. Not because I want to, it's because we need to. Entries are key. This was a perfect entry. 2.5. The low was probably 2.5. I probably got the low, to be honest. And we hit the EMA rejection here. So notice that EMA can also reject on XPX. You notice that we had a 921 reversal. Don't focus too much on reversals on XPX chains and do it more on SPY. You can see here that it reversed. It didn't actually cross, but it is coming down here. It crossed on XPX because XPX is more volatile. And we're on the 1 minute chart on XPX. This is the 5 minute chart on SPY. I know on the 1 minute chart on SPY, this crossed. But because the 5 minute, the EMAs are more balanced, which is good. You want it to be more balanced. You don't want it to be all over the place like this. And we scaled at 295. However, it looks like the majority of you guys actually did get this because there's more than 3. Usually when there's more than 3 reactions on the alerts, it actually worked out. There's no like little shitty emojis or a little thumbs down by Tommy. So pretty good. Wasn't the best play, but every trade counts, right? We got the 20%. And you guys can see I was a bit disappointed. Exit, stop loss, break even, right here. Disappointed, really thought we would reject hard. And I really did think we were going to reject hard. We had a nice breakdown. We got the retest right here. And then this is where we got this is where we scaled. I really did think that we were going to continue going lower and lower. Notice, it was a bullish engulfing candle. However, we did just make a new low. It wasn't a higher low, it was a lower low. So it's still pretty bearish. That's why I took it. That's why I was pretty confident. It's just a strat that did not work. I mean, it worked, but it wasn't like this, which is okay because we still got the 20%, and that's all we need. This was a yeah.
Yeah, and that one, like,
Yeah.
once I scale one contract, by the time I put to another contract to put the break even, it went down very quick. How do we handle those? Yeah, I mean, is there any way you can show your
Yeah,
user
I mean,
interface? How do you do that? And
are
because
you
maybe
on?
my user
You're on
interface is
Webull?
different from yours or something.
Are you on Webull as well? You're on what? E?
I'm on Webull. Yeah.
Okay. It's really speed. Like you just. I don't really know how to So what I personally do is I always manually cancel, manually put, manually stop. I do everything I do it myself. I don't have any I know you can do take profit orders and stuff. I do everything limit or market if it's lotto at the end of the day or whatever. I manually put sell at 3 and
Because I
and
put
then I
like
put
BQ at 2.8 by the time I click yes. It went down by
yeah,
like
yeah.
2.5, then I changed it to 2.5, then
Yeah,
it went to 2.2.
sometimes that does happen to me sometimes, but not as much as you guys most likely. What I can say is you could still put a limit order at your stop loss, and you can see that it did come back and hit the next candle did come back and hit your limit. Or it is more risky because if it continues to dump, it's not going to come back, and you're going to lose. It's just you just
Yeah.
got to be really fast with it. There's not much really that we can do. That's just how it is playing XPX 0 DTE. The good news with the small account next week is that we're not gonna have a stop loss at break even because we're gonna scale. We would have scaled both contracts anyways. But I know for more accounts that have 5, 10, 15 contracts, it's important that you hold your runners as well. You don't want to just scale everything first trim because that's just not how you trade. You wanna take profit and have your different TPs. So yeah, it is kind of frustrating that this just knifes. That's why I was a bit disappointed. I really did think this was gonna be a good rejection. It just came back real fast. But sometimes I do get filled $5-10 below my stop loss. Like sometimes Webull will limit, like my limit will be 2.5 for my break even, but it fills me at 2.4. So you could just put your limit at 2.5, and if it fills you at 2.4, 2.45 sometimes, I mean it's better than holding and it continues to dump. But yeah, it is a little frustrating when you sell and then you go back and you're already back to break even. You're like, oh, I can't even put the order in. It does happen a few times.
And when does the volume come into picture?
You say what?
When does the volume come into picture? When do you look at the volume?
I do not focus on volume much. I'm not really looking at volume, especially on SPY. I mean, there's already tons of volume. And XPX chains always have volume and liquidity to sell and buy. Volume is not a big part of the strategy at all. I know sometimes I say watching for buying volume. The volume that we had was the bullish engulfing candle. You can see here that these are the volume bars on Webull. I think this is everybody's chart. If you have Webull or if you're on TOS, they have the little bars. You can see that we got a little increase in volume, but there was barely any volume because it's lunchtime anyways. So the volume wasn't crazy, but I'm not really focusing too much on volume here and here. I'm more focusing on EMA. It did make a new low, which we did. So that's why I was pretty confident that we would reject hard. We didn't, fortunately. And it wasn't the greatest strat play. It worked, but it wasn't great. I'm sure some of you guys maybe stopped out, maybe took a L. It happens. That's why you need to come into the trade knowing what you need to expect. You want it to reject. You know it's going to get 20%. You want to have your orders set. I always have sell orders at 20% at least. If it starts to move a little bit slower or faster, then I'll do 30, 40%, But usually you want to have an order right away after you enter. You want to put at least something at 20% just to make sure. And if it's really slow, then you can adjust and you have more time. I mean, you can see here that we had about 2-3 minutes to adjust your orders before you got scaled. So you had time to enter. You have 2-3 minutes to scale out at 3 or 295. I'm sure everybody did 3. I got partial. I did get like 2 or 3 cons at 3, but the majority was 295. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We're gonna do it's already 9:40, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna do the whole Thursday, Friday, a bunch of questions. Doesn't matter. It's 10 o'clock, so don't worry about that. Strat 0 and Strat 1. So Strat 1, XPX, lower day. The lower day was 285. We hit 285 here. This is 29. This is a little bit higher, but we're playing the second retest, not the third retest. Second retest. So this is the initial EMA break or EMA bounce, which is right here. This correlates to this. This is where we're supposed to enter. We have VWAP and EMA 21. I'm using the 5-minute. However, I'm watching EMA 21. Why? Because we already had the EMA 9 retest. We already had our EMA 9 retest. So that's why I'm watching EMA 21. Or you use the 10-minute and use the EMA 9. So that's how you can correlate the differences. If it has one retest only, then it's good to stay on the 5 minute. But if it's already been retesting here and here, it's good to use a 21 EMA to answer the question from earlier. So let's go over the paragraph. Nice EMA. This is supposed to say retest. I don't know why it says rooters. Nice EMA retest all afternoon as we had a bullish uptrend. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Use 10 minute after first 5 minute 9 EMA bounce. As you can see, the next retest, which we would have played, is off 21 EMA 5 minute, which is really 9 EMA 10 minute. I checked the 10 minute SPY chart after using this picture, and it was the 21 was right on VWAP, or the 9 EMA on the 10 minute. This is the 5 minute, but the 9 EMA on the 10 minute was right on VWAP as well. So you had the entry on the 9 EMA 10 minute. I just used the 21 EMA because we already watched the 5 minute 9 EMA earlier. But you could use a 10 minute. Doesn't really matter. As long as it's 21 5 or 10 minute 9, they're very, very similar. They move pretty close to each other. Lower day was also 285, so you put your order at 29 or 285, and we would have gotten the bottom because it reversed at the lower day, which is strat 1. You see here reversed. We got a nice, beautiful candle, and we hit a high day. So this was 285 to 54, so almost 100%. And then this is supposed to say play. Do not play the third test if you played the second test. However, the third test did work, but low was 2.9, so maybe no fill. Meaning, like, if you put 285, you would have not got filled here. That's why I always like to put $5 above, maybe 2.9, and you get filled. And it worked out. This is the third retest right here. This is the third retest. So this is an example where the third retest did work. However, I don't like playing the same setup twice, so we probably would have entered off the second retest, and we would have been fine. Any questions on this? I think this one explains it pretty well with the correlation. So I think you guys are starting to get it, which is good. Okay. Here's an actual trade that we took. And by the reactions, it looks like everybody got it because 10 reactions, that's a high. So this is an actual alert using strat 0 and strat 1. This is towards the end of the day, 3 p.m. So that's why the contracts are really cheap. But notice I'm using the 10 minute now. So talking about 5 minute 21, now I'm using the 10 minute because it's just clearer. You see how the 10 minute is much clearer for the 9 EMA compared to the 5 minute 21 EMA. This one, it did wick below it. That's why you can use the 10 minute because it's clearer. So we had the entry here. I entered at 1.7. Why? Because the low is 165. So I know that the low is going to be maybe 165 or 1.7. But notice here, this is a little bit higher than here. So this was 1.7. So we did get the low. But because we pre-anticipated it, we were able to get filled. I got all my contracts filled. I think I did 7 on this one because it was a little bit cheaper. It was under $200. So 165, but you put 1.7 because it's $5 above the low, so you get filled. Because if you did 165 here, you're not getting filled and you're missing this. And 2 minutes later, we got 35%, which was right here, and then it went to 65, give us 100%. This was in the middle of the screenshot because you can see that it's live. So I assume that we made another high. And we got 3.7 for 118%. How did I know? You can see here that you can also use some support and resistance on the XPX chain. Your TP is right around here. We did just miss it, but you can see that you can also anticipate where it could reject as well. That's why I have this little line here. So notice I'm using the 10 minute 9 EMA for E a day, or end of day. Low a day was 165 right here. So your order was 1.7 limit. So we got filled. You can do 165 as well, but I was nervous that the EMA wouldn't fully touch, but it did. It did touch. I don't think this was actually 165, so this is a little typo by me. I think the low here was 1.7. Because I think if it was 165, it would have, let's see. Okay, it might, I don't know. Oops. It's not zoomed in enough to tell, but we did 1.7, so that's good. And we got the EMA 9 perfect. This was perfect. This did touch perfect and bounced right away. That's why we used the 10 minute on this play. Here was 5 minute, using 21 as well. And then here's 10 minute. This was towards the end of the day. This was around 3:15. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Friday. I don't know why this is circled like this, but this is Friday, June 14th. So I had a pretty bad trade here, and I'm going to go over why it didn't work. I remember I lost 35%, and then the next 2 trades were pretty good. So Friday was also another EMA, kind of trendy to the upside, but still little dips here and there. It wasn't as clean as Thursday. You guys can see that Thursday was clear uptrend towards the end of the day. Clear downtrend. This wasn't a reversal signal, but we had the bullish engulfing. So clear uptrend. So Thursday was pretty nice to trade. And then Friday was a bit meh. You know, that's probably why I took a loss. So it happens, but I'm glad we can go over the easy days, the hard days, FOMC, all that. So you guys can adapt to every single trading day. So let's go over it. All right, market open. We're up, we're up. We're not trading first 15, 20 minutes. Here, I don't think anyone's trading this. This is 10 o'clock news. I'm pretty sure we all knew that we have 10 a.m. news on Friday. I don't remember exactly what news it was, but I know there was news on Friday at 10 a.m. Here's a 10 a.m. dump. Boom. Watching. We had a new low, so we're watching puts. Watching for a nice put off here. And we have the 9 EMA. You could use 21. I just like using the 9 more for the first time. But 21 worked as well. It just wicked to 9 though. So you would have been down a little bit. And then we made a new low. Break back above. You can play the retest. The retest did not work here though. So if we did make a trade here, this trade would have not worked. Because I most likely would have done it. We got a nice break above EMA. Watching calls. You enter off EMA. You would have been stopped out. I'm assuming that there was no XPX correlation for me to enter this trade, so that's why we avoided it. Remember, you want to have double confirmation because sometimes one strat will work on SPY, like we'll get the EMA retest, but it'll just dump through. And if XPX didn't show an entry, that's how you can avoid losing on trades that have EMA retest because this clearly did not work. And we had a new low as well. But the second time, so you see how this one rejected, but the second time it broke, it actually bounced off EMA. If you're using the 10-minute, the EMA 9 was better, but we're using the 21 EMA on the 5-minute here. And you get the bounce and a nice push back to high day because this is the high, so this is the high day. And then this is the third time it does it. It goes back down. So this is why Friday was tough. This is 3 times in a row. It goes up, down, up, down, up, down. And we took a loss here. I remember we took a loss. So we're going to go over that right after we analyze the actual chart. Third time we break above. You get the EMA 9 retest. There you go. And then you can get the second retest. And then you get the first VWAP retest right here, which also worked.
Can I
I'm not
ask
sure
a
what this
question?
is. Yes.
So, you said the second retest of the EMA 9.
Yeah.
Will you go for confirmation on the SPX chain? Because as you can see, it's in the middle of the range. You probably won't be able to see the price action touch the VWAP or the low of day for your contracts.
Are you talking about you're talking about over here, right?
Yes. How will you
Yep.
check for
So
confirmation?
that's where you use the EMA on XPX. You use Strat 0 on XPX. Because most likely the EMAs is not at the low of day, it's probably not a VWAP, but the EMAs are riding it up. I can find an example. Like this. The EMA, you can use the EMAs to enter. Like you see how here it hit the EMA on the XPX and moved up. So if this is a Strat 0 that can work with this, it can also be an entry. Does that make sense?
So they are both EMA tests on both the
Yes,
pie
you can
chart
use
and the chain.
yes, you can use SPY EMA with the XPX EMA if they both correlate in the same direction. So if it's saying if SPY is moving up and XPX is moving up with the EMAs and it hits the EMA on SPY and the EMA on XPX and you know you're trying to play the bullish trend, you can use that as your entry. That's why sometimes Strat 0 works better because Strat 1, obviously, yeah, it's not going to be, the puts are not going to be at the low of day or the calls are not going to be at the low of day because it was over here and now we're higher. So yeah, you're right about you won't get Strat 1, you won't get Strat 2 because VWAP is right here anyways. That's why you can use EMA to enter. And we're gonna go over the chains in a sec for Friday as well.
Okay.
And then we had VWAP here. Not here actually. I don't know why I circled this. It did not touch. You guys can see it. Barely missed it. Here we got the entry, a little bit wicked, but it did work out pretty well. And then here's this is like the 4th retest. So I don't know if anybody would play this. It hit EMA. It hit VWAP again. Nice trend up to the upside. Wait for the retest, and you could enter. I don't know why this should be circled over here. Enter right here. You're down just a little bit. Again, you're not going to always be a perfect entry, but you did get a push back up, push, even to high day. So you would have made money on this trade. Let's go over the actual correlation now with XPX. So this was not a trade I made because I would have posted and I would have said actual alert, but nice Strat 0 play on SPY and XPX. Remember I went over here and I said break down, wait for retest. This is the correlation. Notice how it all comes back together. Nice strat 0 play on SPY and XPX. So whoever just asked that question, this is how you enter. You get the breakdown, you get the retest. Notice the EMA, you enter off the EMA right here. So yes, you are down a bit. You can see that you're down just a little bit. But remember, stop loss should be 20-30% max. This is not a 20% drop. This is 10%, 15% max. And right a minute later, because this is the 1 minute chart, you're going up, up, rejection, rejection. By the way, you know when to not stop out if the EMA is still like, if it didn't break the EMA, you're not going to stop out on puts, right? Because you're mainly focusing on SPY after you get in your trade. So yes, you missed your entry a little bit. You might be down 20, 30 bucks, but SPY is still bearish. You still have the EMAs going down. You didn't break EMA, so you're in this trade. It moves up, moves up, moves up, moves up because we're selling, selling, selling. So that's how you can use strat 0 right here, strat 0 play on SPY and XPX, and that's how you're able to catch this move down to low a day. You can see that this went from 185, so this is around maybe, I'm not sure, this could be like 2.3, 2.4, so this is probably around 280, 290, but this did go up to 500. I know I remember seeing it around 500. So it was about a 60% play in about 6 minutes, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 minutes, 6 candles, 1 minute chart. So that's how you can use strat 0 on both. It does all correlate. So now I want to go over an entry that we had, but we don't have the retest on SPY. So we have a good strat 2 entry, but we don't have a strat 0. Remember, strat 0 is with SPY, EMA. EMA is basically strat 0 on SPY and on XPX, but we're focusing on SPY. We don't have an EMA entry. So let's look at XPX real quick. I'm looking at XPX. We have the breakdown. You can see that we're dumping, so puts are going up. You get the little retest. I assume that maybe the candle might have wicked a bit here before it continued dumping. So you get the retest to get puts. However, this is not clear, right? We don't have a clear entry here, so no one's going to enter this. That's why there's no strat 0 play. So it's a good entry, but you need double confirmation. This is only single confirmation. It's just XPX. It's not SPY. So not even looking at puts here because break over EMA 9 earlier. Would never trade this even though it worked. Not watching calls either, as it has only been one candle above EMA. What I mean is it broke EMA, but you're not watching calls yet. This is not a signified trend yet. It's just one candle above. You want to see like 2, 3 candles start pushing above EMA to show a strength. However, we did get the nice bullish engulfing candle, so this could help you be bullish, but we want to see at least a couple candles above EMA before the retest. Like this, you see how we got 1, 2, 3, then we get the retest. This did work because you can see this candle went all the way here before it dumped. So you would have got your little 20, 30, 40%, who knows, depending how volatile or the entry was. Not watching calls either, as it has only been one candle above EMA, or only one candle above. Not really a change of trend yet. We didn't really, it does look like it's bullish, but it's not a trend change yet. We only have one candle above. That's how you can avoid getting dumped on. Even though that it showed that you could get puts here off the VWAP, we didn't know that it was going to continue dumping like this. We didn't know it's going to go from this is 2.7, so this is probably around 2.5, 2.4. We didn't know that it was going to do that. So that's why it's a good entry, but we didn't know, so no strat 0. This is a play that we avoided. And that's how you can see like how to avoid getting dumped on with EMA, you know, how to actually know if it's going to work. You need double confirmation. This is only single confirmation. So we avoided all this. Unfortunately, we avoided it because it would have been nice to play puts, but we didn't have the entry. We never got the retest. We dumped, and we wanted the retest here, but it continued dumping. And then you can see that it made a new low. So it is bullish, or bearish. And then we're going to get over that now. This is how I lost my trade. Because I'm thinking, oh, we have a new low. It's bearish. EMA is down. And this is where I enter, and it did not work. So let's go over the bad trade now. Failed strat 2 alert. This was perfect. I'm not disappointed at this. We followed every rule. It just did not work. So let's go over this. We did everything right here, so not upset. We had the second retest on VWAP. This picture, this is not the updated picture for this slide. This is from the previous slide. I forgot the screenshot when I was doing the class, or when I was updating this presentation today. I had to do it early in the morning, but I wanted to mention that this did hit. This candle ended up hitting 2, 3, and then it continued breaking down. So imagine that it hit here and then it just kept going down and down and down because we're going up and up and up on the puts. So the puts are cheaper because we're going up. So we did everything right. We had the second retest. This is the first retest. This is the second retest. So I would have played it. We made a new low. You guys can see that this was the low. This is a lower low. So these are bearish signals. The EMA in 21 crossed to the downside. Everything was looking good. So I entered. You know, I had the double confirmation. I knew that it was okay. We have EMA. We just made a new low. This is perfect for puts. I entered at 2-3 strat 2 entry, which is right here. And you can just see that it just did not reject well. I think we might have been up maybe to 2.6, 2.7, but clearly I didn't scale because it wasn't 20%. So I'm not going to take 10%. I want 20%. So I didn't scale here, even though that we had a nice entry. And then it just got knifed. Huge candle to decay the premium as well. Just didn't work out. Stopped out at lower range. Usually the lower range is just a couple, it's usually 10, 20 cents below the high because premium decay. So obviously here it's much better than here. So that's how you can know that around this area is where the lower day is going to be now because it updated because of the premium decay and we're getting closer to expiration. So it just didn't work out. I took a loss on this. It was a pretty bad loss, to be honest. If I'm being honest with you, it was not a good trade. We lost 35%. So this is something that it just happens. I mean, we did everything right. We had all the confirmation. It just didn't work. So it's going to happen. Nothing we can do. We followed all the rules. I could have maybe stopped out a bit earlier. However, the low of the day was for strat 1. Strat 1, the low of the day was 1.55. So my stop loss was 1.5. So that's why I put my stop loss at 1.5. So yeah, it just didn't work. Here's another single confirmation. So this wasn't a good. We couldn't do this because we didn't have double confirmation. Nice strat 0 play, but no entry with XPX. So sometimes when I say, oh, premium doesn't look good, premium looks weak, there's no juice, it's this. We don't know what this is. What is this? There's no, I didn't click the EMAs or VWAP because it didn't correlate. So I just wanted to show the basic chart when you open XPX chains. Notice the range of the premium isn't crazy either. It looks like it's 2.5 to 4.1. So right around here, this is 2.9. So right around here is 2.5. When a move is only from 2.5 to 4.1 from the top to the bottom, that's very bad. Like usually you can see how here it's like 1.5 to 3.9. It's over 100%. Here it's just 2.5 to 4.1. It's not good. Not worth it and why I didn't trade till afternoon. It's also lunch hour, choppy area. That's why I didn't make this trade. Yes, we got the little VWAP bounce here, which is this. And then we got the VWAP bounce here, which is this. So notice the premium did not decay at all. I mean, the fact that it went all this time and then came back down, huge dump, and it only did this. It didn't come back to here or even all the way to here. That's why I didn't make the trade. The premium did not decay much. The premium still looks strong, but it's not good enough risk to reward to make the trade because the range is so low. 2.5 to 4.1 from here to here. Imagine catching all this move and you're not even up over 60%. When sometimes you could be here, you get one red candle and you're already up 40, 50% in like 1 minute. That's why we didn't make this trade. So it was a strat 0 play because you have the VWAP, but it wasn't good with XPX. And that's why sometimes you can avoid these trades not getting chopped out. Here's an actual alert that we did. Looks like you guys caught it because we got some reactions on it. Actual alert using strat 0 and strat 2. So strat 2 on VWAP, XPX, right here. This is our second confirmation. This is first and the second retest. So we play the second retest. Notice, by the way, notice the third retest dumped. That's how you guys can tell. That's how you guys can know like not to do it. You can see here that this candle dumped. It correlates with EMA. The third retest on EMA broke. XPX broke as well. It all correlates. That's why we do first and second retest. So perfect entry off VWAP on XPX, which was right here. My alert was 245. So I'm going to assume that the low is 2.4 or 245. I'm not too sure exactly what it is at this area. And we had the nice EMA test on the 5-minute. This was the second retest. I played right here. This highlight, you see right here, this highlight, that's this. It all correlates. This is the first retest the EMA. Second retest the EMA. This is where we entered. And you can see that we had a nice push up. Notice this blue line. You see how we rejected here, came back down, rejected here, came back down. That's why obviously when you're trading, you're not going to have a little line here, but just imagine, like, try and visualize a support and resistance on your XPX. Your support is VWAP. Look, rejection, rejection, rejection. Now we're bouncing off it. Bounce off here as well. So support. Notice I said strat 2 entry because it's a strat 2 entry. 2, 4, 5, we got 3, and then we got 22%. So that's around here. And then we got 3, 5 right here for 43%. The high of this was 3, 6. I remember this was 3, 6. And we got 3, 5. So 43%. So we actually missed the high by just $10, which is perfect for XPX. So this was a really good play using strat 0 and then strat 2. And just to recap more on Friday, strat 0 and strat 2 worked all afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry. This was a typo. This is strat 1 because it's the low of the day. Sorry, this is not strat 0. Oh. My fault again. Sorry, let me recap again. Sorry. This is strat 0 because this is strat 0. Strat 2 is VWAP. This is strat 1. This is a typo. It's supposed to say strat 0 plus strat 1 all afternoon. So remember that. I know even I get confused with all the strats, but they all make sense. Trust me. So strat 0, because we have EMA and VWAP. So we're using VWAP here. VWAP test, VWAP test, VWAP test, VWAP test. These are 5-minute candles, and these are 1-minute candles. That's why the range is much larger, because we're using the 1 minute on XPX. But this was all of this is all this. And you get the second retest, and then this is all this. I just didn't take a screenshot faster of SPY, but I did take a later screenshot of XPX. So lower day bounces all afternoon following VWAP bounces. So I think I said strat 2 because I got confused with VWAP on SPY, but remember VWAP for strat 2 is XPX, not SPY. So I even myself I got confused. This is strat 1, strat 1, strat 0, EMA / VWAP. We're using VWAP here for though.
Hey, Ryan, do you think you can add another slide just to define these strats? I know it's confusing for everybody.
Yes. Yeah. Let me when we're done with this, I'll go back to the course and I'll recap everything real quick so you guys can see. Okay, so we just played the strat 2 right before. So this was strat 2. Because XPX, remember, XPX is strat 2 because it's VWAP. We just played this. So no same play twice, just a personal rule. Because I don't like playing the same setup twice, as I said. Good because it broke under EMA 9 fast, so that would have been an L. Talking about this. It broke EMA 9 right here. So I would have not played this anyways because this is already the second retest right here. That's why we didn't play that. Because we just played the initial. We already played the second retest here. This is the third retest now. So that's why it would have been an L. So that's why we do first and second retest only. Here's another actual trade I made on Friday using strat 1, low a day, and then strat 0. So that's why I meant to say strat 0 plus strat 1, not 2, all afternoon. Perfect strat 1 entry at 1.6. The lower day was 1.6. Or sorry, the lower day was 1.55. That's why I did 1.6. This is 1.55 right here, this little wick, and this is where we entered for 1.6 right here. And we get the little rejection zone. You can see that we rejected here, we rejected here basically. I mean, it's not gonna be always perfect, but that's why I put the little line here. Nice entry off EMA 9, 10-minute. That's why you guys switch. Remember, we played the 5-minute here. We got the breakdown. I guess it came back up because we played it again. So you can see on the 10-minute, it came back up here, and we got the nice entry off 10-minute non-EMA. So after you do a 5-minute EMA, make sure you switch to the 10-minute non-EMA because the 21 5-minute EMA might have been a little bit choppier like this. You want it to be clean like this, moving up, showing the trend. You get the nice wick. Look at the wicks here. These were perfect for EMA 9, 10-minute. So that's why we use the 10-minute on this chart. You guys see here it says 10-minute. And we are able to get in at 1.6. The low is 1.55. This is 1.55. This is where we entered, 1.6. You can see it says 330. You can see here, this is 240. So this is around 330. Correlates with this area. Not this area. This area. We're entered right here. And we got 63% in 3 minutes. For full transparency, I did scale at 30%, but it just kept going up and up, so I didn't send the alert because I scaled again at 60%. I'm not always going to be like, I'm not just holding for 60% here. I did 30%, but I scaled again at 63%, so I just updated one scale here. But yeah, you guys should always be scaling 20, 30% regardless. But that's just for full transparency. I didn't just hold till 60%. We did get a scale at 30%. I just didn't alert it because a minute later I scaled at 63%. So, you know, that's why. And what a scalp off EMA 9 talking about this. So these next 10 slides, I just took them off my actual XPX course. For those who have it, these are straight from the course. This is when SPY was back at 400. This is 2023, but I wanted to show you guys more examples that you guys can go over on your own and see if you guys can correlate it. There's no XPX, obviously, because this is from 2023. Sorry, over here. This is from 2023, so we don't know what the chains look like. But I wanted to give you guys 10 extra examples that you guys can do on your own when I show you guys the presentation. And I circled what it means, and I put my little response on what this meant and how it related to XPX. And that's about it. Who had the question about, what was the question earlier, so we can go over that? Someone had a question that we were going to go over. Would you show how many contracts you're getting into for the 2K account? Yes, I'm doing 2 contracts for 2,000. Usually, let's do this. If you're doing $1,000, do 1 contract. If you're doing $2,000, do 2 contracts. If you're doing $3,000, do 3 contracts. Whatever 1,000 you're at, like 3, 4, 5,000, do the same amount of contracts. Can you show how you mark your levels in this class? Yeah, I can do. I'll do my levels. We can do some levels in a sec. Is there any actual questions about the class? How often do you update your SPY levels? Every 3 days, or after any big news. Like if we have CPI or FOMC, then the night after the price action, I'll update it. But I try to update my levels every 2-3 days. And yes, I'm gonna get 2 contracts. Oh, how do you find your levels? Let's do levels then. You guys see my Webull? Can someone say if they see my Webull?
Yes.
Okay, wait. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so remember, turn off after hours when you're charting. It's just cleaner. Let me reset this chart. Okay, so if I'm being really honest, there is nothing to update. Why? Let's delete these. Let's say we're using the last this is from June 11th, I think, or June 12th. So this is from last week. So we're at the all-time high, so we need a level at all-time high. Why? We rejected it. So 544.12. Ignore if it says 1 cent less, it's not, you know, when you're trading on the 5-minute, it's gonna reject. You're not gonna see the cent difference. But put a level at 544.12. Next level. Where did we reverse? Where was our reversal point? Not a candle, obviously it's not a reversal candle, but this is where we reversed. We were down and we shifted up. So now this is support because this is where we bounced off. And you have the gap to fill as well. That's why you put your after hours off. Because if you put your extended hours, you don't see the gap because this is the gap. Right here is where you have the gap because it's pre-market. This is the news. So that's why you turn it off. So you can see that we have the gap. So you put another level at the low a day. Most of the time, you're going to put a level at your low a day and high a day. So 539.59. I don't know why I said 61, but yeah. And then, so you guys can see here, this is the high day. You put your level here. And if you had your level earlier, so me, what I would do is I'd put my level here. And then notice how it rejected, or it just closed. It just closed. This is 4 p.m. on June 11th. So it just closed at my level. And I'll just move it up a little bit just to snatch the high day, make sure it's accurate. But the level was already here. So I know that this is like a nice area, and this is where it closed. It was 4 p.m. So that's how you can do your levels. Sometimes it gets a little bit more complicated. Like here, it looks like it's just a little bit choppy. So this, I would adjust it to follow the wicks. You see how we have a wick here and a wick here? I would use that, and then I would delete this line because it's too close. Now it looks, you see how much cleaner it looks now? I adjusted it. This is what I was gonna update tonight. I'm gonna adjust some levels. So you see how we have wicks here and a wick here. We have a wick here. I mean, this one broke a little bit under, but you want to have the majority respecting it. The majority is respecting it here, so I'm not going to put it over here. I'd rather put it up here. And then delete this one right here because it's just too close. It's not a major. And notice how I zoom back out. We have rejection here. That's where I get my next level for here. So it's all about finding the wicks, your high day, your lower day. That's where you really put your levels. Any gaps, you should put your levels. And that's how I do my SPY 30-minute levels. And then on the 5-minute chart, I know on the 30-minute, it looks like a bunch of lines don't make sense, but on the 5 minute, it looks way more clean. Look how clean this looks. Boom, boom. Even here, look how clean this looks. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, this one obviously is not going to always be perfect, but you can see that it came back above my level. And look at the rejections. Rejected here, came back just a bit above, rejected again. This was market close. And then over here, nice rejection or support bounce. Again, support bounce. Again, support bounce. Not entirely perfect like these two, but you can see how it worked. Here we broke above, came back below, broke above again, came back below. We had another level here rejected, and then came back below, another level. The levels don't always work. That's why my strategy is not based on my support and resistance levels, but they do help. They do help see your trend. You can see that we came back above and we have a nice rejection on the level, and it came back down to our support level, and it came back up, rejection level again, back down to our support level, and then back up. So it's not always perfect. That's why I don't do my entries. My strategy has nothing to do with the support and resistance levels, but they are good to. It's good to see where you could have a potential reversal or rejection. But we're not playing reversal rejection. We're playing trend. Remember that. That's why sometimes when a level breaks, like here, if this was during the day, seeing this trade or this candle break above a 30-minute level that it rejected previously, this is a good way to show that it's going to continue going up. And we had the gap up, of course. So we can't trade that, but it's just a way to see how the trend can continue, and you know that it's a good trend. So that's how I do my levels. High and lows, the wicks right here, level, reversal, supports, all the wicks and reversal points, really reversal points. We reversed here, so that's a level. Reversed here, that's a level. Reversed here, that's a level. Reversed here, that's a level. That's how it makes sense. And then of course during the day, put your pre-market on. You want to see what happened pre-market. You can see that it was a little volatile. You know, we had a nice dump, which is why you were thinking, oh, it's probably gonna build its way back up again, and that's what it did. How far back do you go for your levels? Not too far back. Maybe until I haven't, like, you see how there's so many lines here? It's just because I haven't updated them. I just go back to a couple of weeks max, like maybe like 2-3 weeks. You see here, like right around June 5th, or about 2 weeks ago, is where like it starts to get a little crazy. We don't need to update these yet because we're all the way up here, and it has $20 before we get back there. So I would just update the last 2 levels, or 2 weeks. Sorry, update like the last 2 weeks of your levels, so it makes more sense. Obviously, you guys can see over here it's all over the place because I just didn't update them yet because we haven't been here. And this is from April, you know. So that's how I do my levels. I'm gonna post my levels on Twitter, like, you know, when I say SPY 30-minute, I'm gonna post the levels here right after the class. So yeah. Any questions before we wrap it up? I hope you guys recorded this. If we didn't, I'm gonna do another class for the people that couldn't make it for Father's Day. I'll make sure to record that session, and then we'll if it doesn't work, I'll send it to you guys anyways. But we'll get a recording at one point. It might be in the next few weeks, or it might be tonight if Hung Too Deep did not fold. And then make sure you guys send me your Gmail if you want the presentation. I recommend getting the presentation. I mean, why not get it? Oh, look, I even showed like why I did my entries and stuff. So yeah, these are 10 extra examples I added from the course, so you guys can see more EMA 9 and VWAP, because I know those are pretty hard to tell compared to the actual XPX entries. So yeah, you guys can DM me your email. Oh, I didn't mean to put you on blast, but yeah, you guys can DM me your emails now, and I'll send them right now after this. How aggressive are you about entering on EMA tests? You know the EMA will not be touched all the way, but the EMA lags or will be told. So with this question, this is where you use your XPX. Notice over here, for that question, let me go back to Wednesday FOMC. I remember using SPY PA. Yeah, this is where you need to have your good knowledge of SPY PA. You want to use your EMAs on SPY for your entries if it doesn't have a clear XPX entry. Otherwise, we would have never caught this play. So this is the slide that really goes over your question on how aggressive are you about entering on EMA tests. You know the EMA will not be touched all the way. It's if you have a strat entry. You have a good entry off SPY, then you're able to enter on XPX, even if it doesn't clearly have an entry. That's how you can know.